আজকের এই সেমিনারে উপস্থিত আছেন আমাদের মহাবিদ্যালয়ের অধ্যক্ষ ডক্টর আব্দুল মতিন মহাশয়, প্রফেসর দুবে স্যার, দুয়ারি স্যার, তৌফিক স্যার, শঙ্কর বাবু, মধুমঙ্গল বাবু, দীপক বাবু, গোপাল বাবু এবং সোমনাথ বাবু। এদেরকে সবাইকে আমি আমার পক্ষ থেকে, কলেজের পক্ষ থেকে, IQACর পক্ষ থেকে আমার আন্তরিক শ্রদ্ধা, শুভেচ্ছা এবং অভিনন্দন জানাই। আপনারা আজকের আমাদের মহাবিদ্যালয়ে এসেছেন, এতে আমরা খুবই খুশি এবং আনন্দিত, এবং আমাদের মহাবিদ্যালয় আপনাদের স্পর্শে ধন্য হলো। আপনাদেরকে সবাইকে আমি আন্তরিক অভিনন্দন জানাই। অভিনন্দন জানাই ম্যাথমেটিক্স ডিপার্টমেন্ট এবং B.Ed ডিপার্টমেন্ট, যারা আজকের এই ইন্টারন্যাশনাল সেমিনারের আয়োজন করেছেন IQACর সঙ্গে নিয়ে। তাদেরকে আমরা আমার IQACর পক্ষ থেকে অভিনন্দন জানাচ্ছি। আজকে যারা উপস্থিত আছেন ফ্যাকাল্টি মেম্বার্স, নন টিচিং স্টাফ, রিসার্চ স্কলার, ছাত্রছাত্রী, সবাইকে আমার আন্তরিক শুভেচ্ছা এবং অভিনন্দন আজকের এই সেমিনারে যোগদান করার জন্য। রিসার্চ, গবেষণা শব্দটার সঙ্গে আমাদের শ্রদ্ধা মিশিয়ে থাকে, আভিজাত্য মিশিয়ে থাকে, কিন্তু রিসার্চ করতে এখন বেশিরভাগেরই একটু অনীহা থাকে। এখন রিসার্চ করি কেন, করব কেন, এরকম ধরনের ব্যাপারটা থাকে যে এটা করে আমার লাভ কি হবে, আমি তো বেশ আছি, আবার রিসার্চ কেন। এই বেশ থাকাটা কি, মানে আমার বেশ থাকা ব্যাপারটা কি রকম? একটা মানুষের সমগ্র জীবনটা তার ফিলোজফির উপর দাঁড়িয়ে আছে। সে বেশ থাকবে কি করে, ভালো থাকে কি করে? তার কি 4-5টা গাড়ি থাকলে বেশ থাকে? যদি তার হার্টের ডিজিজ থাকে, যদি তার মানসিক রোগ থাকে, তাহলে কি সে বেশ থাকে? বেশ থাকা মানে সবচেয়ে ভালো তার মেন্টাল হেলথটা খুব সুন্দর থাকা, মনের আনন্দে, সবসময় আনন্দে থাকার মধ্যে যে অনুভূতি, সেই অনুভূতি একটা বিরাট জায়গা জুড়ে থাকে ক্রিয়েটিভিটি। ক্রিয়েটিভিটিতে মধ্যে একটা গানে সুন্দর সুর দেওয়া হলো, একটা সুন্দর গল্প লেখা হলো, একটা সুন্দর আবিষ্কার বিজ্ঞানের হলো, তার মধ্যে যে আনন্দ যিনি আবিষ্কর্তা অনুভব করেন, সেই আনন্দ আর কারোর পক্ষেই অনুভব করা সম্ভব নয়। রিসার্চ করলেই যে সফল হওয়া যাবে তেমন কোনো ব্যাপার নাই। একটা ল্যাম্প পোস্টে একজন বেয়ে উঠলো, সুইচটা অন করলো, কিছুটা আলোকিত হলো, সেই আলো ধরে ধরে আবার একজন এগিয়ে গেল, আর একটা খুঁটি তার হাতে লাগলো, তিনি আবার সেই খুঁটিটা বেয়ে উঠলেন, অনেক কষ্ট করে উঠলেন, পড়ে যাচ্ছেন, মসৃণ উঠতে উঠে আবার সুইচটা হাতে লাগলো, অন করলেন, আলো জ্বললো, আবার কিছুটা এগিয়ে গেল। এভাবেই সভ্যতা এগোয়। সব লোক যে আলো জ্বালতে পারে তারও কোনো মানে নাই, সব লোক যে খুঁটি বেয়ে উপরে উঠতে পারে তারও কোনো মানে নাই। কিন্তু এই খুঁটি পাওয়ার মধ্যে, চেষ্টার মধ্যে সেই আনন্দটা লুকিয়ে আছে, যে আনন্দের কথা শুধুমাত্র যারা ওইরকম ভাবে নিজেকে কিছুটা স্যাক্রিফাইস বলতে পারেন, সবকিছু ছেড়ে যে আনন্দের উৎস সন্ধানে মানুষ ছুটছে, যার ফলে আজকের সভ্যতার সংস্কৃতি আজকের এই জায়গায় আমরা এসে পৌঁছেছি, সেই পৃথিবীর সমগ্র যারা গবেষক তাদের সবাইকে আমি আন্তরিক শ্রদ্ধা জানাই। ম্যাথমেটিক্স ডিপার্টমেন্ট বরাবরই খুব স্ট্রং ডিপার্টমেন্ট আমাদের কলেজে। তারা পড়াশোনা, পঠন পাঠন, রিসার্চ সবই খুব অ্যাডভান্স। তার জন্য তো আমার পক্ষ থেকে অবশ্যই সবাইকে কনগ্রেচুলেশন। আর খুব ভালো লাগছে যে এখানকারেরই ছাত্র যারা আজকের দিনে উজ্জ্বলভাবে উপস্থিত আছেন এবং সফল হয়েছেন তাদের নিজ নিজ ক্ষেত্রে, সেই একটা ফিলিংস আমি খুব এনজয় করছি যে এখানকার ছাত্রই তারা আবার ভালো ভালো জায়গাতে তারা রিসার্চ করেছে, গবেষক হয়েছে, সফল হয়েছে জীবনে। এটা আমাদের কাছে, আমাদের কলেজের কাছে, আমাদের কাছে একটা বড় প্রাপ্তি। আর যারা গবেষণা করছেন তাদেরকে আমি বলবো, আপনারা গবেষণার মাধ্যমে আনন্দ উপভোগ করুন। সাময়িক কিছু যে রেডিমেড আনন্দ পাওয়া যায় গবেষণা করে তা নয়। আর গবেষণা করার মধ্যে একটা, আমি বললাম যে ওর মধ্যে একটা দর্শন আছে, তার মধ্যে আত্মত্যাগ আছে, আত্ম উপলব্ধি আছে, এবং তার মধ্যে একটা নির্মল আনন্দ আছে। বিজ্ঞান গবেষণা মানে হচ্ছে সৃষ্টির যে সমস্ত রহস্য, তার মধ্যে যে লুকিয়ে থাকা অসংখ্য সংখ্যা, অসংখ্য সূত্র, সেই সূত্রগুলোকে ধরে ফেলাই হচ্ছে আবিষ্কার। তার মধ্যে সৃষ্টির মধ্যেই আছে অনেক কিছু, সেই সৃষ্টির মধ্যে লুকিয়ে থাকা রহস্যগুলোকে একে একে করে উন্মোচিত করার মাধ্যমে আসল আবিষ্কারের আনন্দ পাওয়া যায়। সবাই ভালো থাকুন, সবাইকে আমার আন্তরিক শ্রদ্ধা, শুভেচ্ছা, অভিনন্দন, নমস্কার।
Thank you, sir. Thank you for briefly explaining the significance of research as well as introduction about our college. As a nation, India has always been at the forefront of scientific advancement and research. In recent years, we have witnessed remarkable breakthroughs across various fields. To throw the light on the recent developments in research in India, I may take privilege to invite Dr. Kumar Roy, former faculty, IIT Kharagpur, to throw the light on recent developments in research in India. Professor Kumar Roy completed his PhD in 2016 from University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA, focusing on sustainable business models and contracts. His research area included B2B relationship, applied operation research, networks and graphs, and applied economics. He has taught at IFMR and Amrita Viswavidyapith, IIT Nagpur, IIM Rohtak, and IIM Nagpur. Also in IIT Kharagpur. He has 16 years of work experience in business development, strategy, operation management, engineering, and consulting for the large MNCs such as Caterpillar, Parker, Hannifin, Aton Corporation, and Larsen and Toubro. His prior education includes MBA and MS Industrial System Engineering. Now, over to you, sir, please.
Namaskar. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all the organizers, including Principal Sir, and all the members who have come here from outside to present their thoughts. Also, all the organizers and organizing committee who have been watching since yesterday put all the hard efforts to make an event like this successful. So thank you all. It's all about knowledge and delivering it, communicating to our next generation, actually. Of course, it is interesting for all the people who are involved at that moment. So PhD students and scholars and faculty to also understand what is going on and to maybe find good partners and maybe further their research. But if we cannot train the next generation and if we can't teach them why to do all this, then they are at a loss. They don't know why to do, what to do. So I think that is a very important part of the conference as far as I'm concerned. So coming back to the question of how are we doing in India, I have looked at this matter sometime earlier, and I must say that in last 6-7 years or 10 years, we have made significant progress. In general, we have seen better research productivity and also in number of papers created in the country in eminent institutes and all. But if you look at the world stage, the amount of money being spent or resources being spent in India is not that high. Okay, for example, there is a term called GERD, which is basically saying that the amount of money spent on education compared when you compare it to the GDP of the country. So that number is about 0.65, and it has been like this. It was about 0.86. It's now come down a little bit. But when we compare it to some other countries, you will see that China is about 2.5, if I'm right, and then US comparatively is about 3.5. Now, it's not a question of how much you spend, because there is a concept of purchase power parity. There is also a concept of productivity, how much you spend. Like, for example, we sent a probe to Mars at a very small cost compared to what the US would do. So, of course, there is that question. But at the same time, when you look at the productivity of research output itself, we have only gone up in last 7, 8 or 10 years from 2% of the total output, research output of the world, to 5%, which is minuscule when you compare it to our history. The country has a very rich history of research. If you go back in time, we were probably the only civilization creating so much research, and not for 10,000 years, even way beyond that, right? But recently, because of so many reasons, we have not been doing well. China in last 10, 15 years have actually gone up. And now they compare with US, 33% of the research output is coming from there. So without really banking on what the West teaches us, China has been able to do this completely by themselves, right? So this gives you a very good motivation to see what you can do by yourself, looking back into your, going inside you basically, right? Going inside your own Sanskriti, you can do well. Just because, and also when you look at top institutes, top 10 institutes from productivity angle, you'll find only 3 of them actually are from US now, which is also very surprising for me, okay? My own university used to rank much higher. What is the big factor? Chinese institutes. They are, I remember one student from China. She was working with me and I happened to just tell her one day, 2 of us working on a project for maybe 1 semester, that, your mathematics is very strong. And so she responds by saying, I am Chinese. What do you expect? What a beautiful response. And can we say that? So that is so true. If you see in the research, that's what you can see this all over the place. So having worked with them, I can tell you that they are disciplined. They respect each other. They are very good team workers. And now they are clearly capturing the world, not only in research, but as you can see from manufacturing and all different angles. They work really hard. So anything that you think about why and how, it goes back to the fundamental ideas which our rishis have always told us, that unless we are disciplined, we can't make progress, right? So that is a big thing I would like to point out. We also have to, I'll take 1 minute on the difference between a rishi and a scientist. If we can delve into these topics, you will clearly understand why we were so far ahead and why we are not doing so well now. So to discuss this, we may have some classes which we'll discuss later, but fundamentally one has to rise above himself or herself. To make really great contributions, we have to rise above ourselves, okay? Just being scientists will not cut it, believe me. Productivity in the name of research, by partnering with others who are actually working. And but if I just do this, that I don't contribute and just hang out with others, this will not help the country. And actually, there are 40,000 PhD students being created here in this country. And in China and US, the numbers is almost similar. But why our ranking is so far lower compared to these 2 countries? And the main reason is we expect to get a degree, not even in education, or not even in expertise in how to do great research, good research, right? So unless we think like that and stop thinking degrees, which is not our idea. Upadhi is not the idea of our rishis. We don't even give a degree actually in this culture. Imagine what a high standard we have had in the past. So why do we need to lower that? The degree, the idea is from outside, but we are so much used to that now that we are misusing it. So I hope we do far better, and we are doing better. And I think the deeper we go inside our own culture, we'll definitely do far better. With these positive words, I'd like to stop and invite other speakers. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for explaining what is the present condition of research in our country. Still, we are very lagging behind, and this demands this type of conference to explore that what we have to do in present era. Friends, science and innovation know no borders, and across the globe, researchers are making breakthroughs that have the potential to revolutionize industries, improve lives, and tackle the global challenges. To enlighten us about the recent developments in research abroad, I would like to invite Professor Tawfiq Allah, Professor in Stiniye University in Istanbul, Turkey. Tawfiq sir is full professor of applied mathematics and director of the Research Center of Performance and Productivity Analysis at Stiniye University, Turkey. His previous tenure includes position at the IAU Science and Research Branch in Iran, the University of Prince Edward Island in Canada, Izmir University, and Manchester University in Turkey. As a trained mathematician and computer scientist, Professor Tawfiq is fervently engaged in multi and interdisciplinary research. His work is not limited to fundamental research in fuzzy applied mathematics, particularly fuzzy differential equation, but also extends to pioneering application in applied biological science. Currently, Tawfiq is focusing on developing a new mathematical space characterized by complex uncertainties and is endeavoring to define a novel concept of uncertainty. Now, I would like to invite Tawfiq sir for enlightening us. Sir, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I wish you have a good time. Thank you for inviting me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
So, first of all, I would like to thank all of your participants and also all my friends that are organizing this valuable conference. But I think it's not fair. You have lots of presents, flowers there, and I have nothing. I'm just watching to you. So, everyone knows that the world of research is growing rapidly, and to the future of technology and also medicine and mathematics. And recently, we have lots of indeed distinguished research and also lots of changes in the scientific world, and with appearing the AI and also combining with the quantum computing, the world is going to be changed. I think that in the future, quantum machine learning, which could solve very complex optimization problems beyond the classical optimizations. So this is a very good, huge difference in the science, I think. It is my opinion. And also intelligent systems such as AI has a lots of application in the medicine, and the scientists are integrating AI with the genomics and to create personalized treatment plans. So this is very exciting advancement in the science. These models can predict disasters years in advance, and also improving the early detections. And there are lots of studying in these fields, and they are already being applied in the diagnosis and also treatment of Alzheimer's, cancers, and cardiovascular disasters. And also the recent research in mathematics is distinguishable because the mathematics is going to be changed logically, and recently multi-valued mathematics and also the fuzzy logic mathematics and the uncertain mathematics have lots of things to say about the advancement of the science. So new developments in the uncertain mathematics, like uncertain differential equations, partial differential equations, and other topics are enabling more accurate modelings of the complex systems, such as in the healthcare systems. So applications include, for this uncertain mathematics, climate changes analysis and financial forecastings, and also medical decision making. So we know that the world faced with the global warming, and also we need to the monitoring the frustry. So the mathematical modeling and the uncertain logics has a lot of applications in this area. These models provides better tools to handling the uncertainty and also dynamic behavior. And also in the energy systems, scientists are developing safer, longer lasting batteries that charge faster, and it has a lots of applications in the electric cars, drive farther. So and also make solar and the wind energy more reliable. So this is these all are the advancements and of the future of our science and scientists in the progressing in the future of the world. So these advancements bring us closer to the cleaner, greener future, and also reducing reliance on fossils fuels. So thank you very much and to having me in this conference. And I would like to say goodbye for all of you. And I'll have, I think, a keynote talk after 3 years. So I will see you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for enlightening us about the current trends of research in abroad. Now, our first invited talk is by Dr. Debiprosad Duari on a journey to the stars. The session will be chaired by Dr. Vivek Kumar Dubey.
কোন কম্পিউটারটা পাওয়ার পয়েন্টের জন্য ইউজ করবে এটাই
Just one. Well, let me introduce.
Let me see whether it's worked and then you
Give.
ডাইরেক্টলি করুন নাহলে ঝামেলা
কেটে যাচ্ছে স্যার
হবেই
স্যার একটু পিপিটিটা কপি করে দেবো
না এটা কপি করবেন কপিরাইটেড আছে কপিরাইটেড আছে
তাহলে এখানে একটাই আছে নাকি স্যার?
একটাই আছে
তাহলে এটা ক্যান্সেল করে দিন।
কোনো দরকার নেই
হ্যাঁ নটা ব্লু কেন ওখানে
এটা কি সুইচ অফ করা আছে নাকি এটা তো সুইচ অফ মনে হচ্ছে
না স্যার এই কাজ করছে
ওইখানে ডিসপ্লে হচ্ছে
ডিসপ্লে তো এখানেও আছে
আসছিল
একটু ডিসপ্লেটা একটু কানেক্ট করে দিন এটা একটু
আপনি কারেক্ট করুন
ওই পাশে আছে
এইটুকুতে হবে ওইদিকে হবে ওইদিকে কানেক্ট এইচডিএমআই আছে
go ahead come in না এটাকে ঘুরিয়ে নেন
কানেক্ট করো না তারপরে সেটি করতে ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করতে স্নেক হয়েছে সফল থাকে
এটা কিন্তু রেসপন্স করছে না কেন প্রোডাক্ট অ্যাক্টিভেশন ফেল্ড বলে। এগুলো তো একটু চেক করে দেবেন আপনারা। কনফারেন্সের শুরুতে যদি এমন একটা পাওয়ার পয়েন্টে দিচ্ছেন সেখানে কাজই করছে না তো।
লাগিয়ে দিলে তো হবে। পাওয়ার পয়েন্টটা ওখানে দিয়ে দিলেই তো হবে।
হ্যাঁ পাওয়ার পয়েন্ট ওখানে দিলে
ইউএসবি ওখানে লাগিয়ে দাও। স্যার আপনার ইউএসবিটা ওখানেই লাগিয়ে দিন একবার ডাইরেক্ট ওখানে গেলে বুঝতে পারবেন। হ্যাঁ
এখান থেকে স্যার
বেরোনো যাচ্ছে না, কিছুই না।
ওখানে ডাইরেক্ট
দাঁড়ান, পুরো লকটা বসে আছে। হ্যাঁ হয়ে গেছে। এটাকে অফ করুন, আগে করুন। হ্যাঁ এটা কপিরাইটেড তো, ঝামেলা হবে, কেউ কপি করবে।
পেন ড্রাইভ এটা একটা রিস্টার্ট করতে হচ্ছে। রিস্টার্ট বলছি, রিস্টার্ট দিলে ঠিক হয়ে যাবে।
fundamental research
assistant professor at the Institute for Advanced Studies in Basic Science, Iraq, and faculty at the University of Manchester Institute of Science and Technology, UK. He has also held the position of director at the Institute of Astronomy, Space and Earth Science, Kolkata, and director of research and academics at MP Birla Institute of Fundamental Research, Kolkata. Dr. Duari contribution to the field have been recognized with the numerous awards, including the Best Thesis Award of the Astronomical Society of India, DSC from SO University, Odisha, and the University of Engineering and Management, Kolkata and Jaipur. Ravindra Puraskar and Swami Vivekanand Excellence Award. Dr. Duari is a fellow of the Royal Astronomical Society and a member of several esteemed organizations, including the International Astronomical Union and Indian Science Congress Association. He has attended around 45 conferences and workshops globally, delivered approximately 1700 lectures, and participated in 120 webinars. His research interest includes periodic redshift distributions of quasi-stellar objects. Dr. Duari has significantly contributed to the modernization of the MP Birla Planetarium, Kolkata, and has been involved in extensive public outreach programs impacting thousands of students and general public. He has authored several books and continues to inspire and educate through his teaching and research activities. Now, over to you, sir. Thank you.
First of all, if I use my laptop, can you project it here because the videos are not working on that. Okay, okay. Right. I thought that you would check it out, but let's check it out. Otherwise, I will.
ওর পাওয়ার চলে গেছে
সেটা তো আপনার থেকে একটু ওখানেই আছে আই থিঙ্ক কেবল ইজ
হ্যাঁ এইচডিএমআই ডাইরেক্ট হয়ে যাবে তো আমরা কিছু করতে হবে বস করে দাও
কানেকশন হচ্ছে না বলে তাই
বস করে দাও
Then I go back to that. A very good morning to everybody over here. I'm extremely sorry for the last 10 minutes. I wasted the time because this display was not working properly. I was keenly listening to what Professor Duari was telling us. He was telling us that India is a place of tremendous potential and is on the verge of a quantum leap in terms of development and other benefits. The whole issue is that who is going to do the leap? Who is going to do the jump? It is the future generation of researchers, educators, and others. How they will do it? They will do it in an environment which we are creating to make them motivated, to make them focused, and to make them feel to achieve greatness. What I personally find is that the sense of achievement goes to different levels depending upon our environment. At present, I'm sorry to say, there is this deja vu of celebration of mediocrity. And that is reflected in every aspect, and not in a particular, it's a system, not in a person, it's a system. I was telling him, I was so happy that so many nice flowers and other things, gifts were given to us. But believe me, in a conference where serious discussions on science, research, and methodology are done at present, not even a single pen and paper is there. Because everybody is focused on the conference, not the innovation. So this mindset. You may say that this is Sanatan in some sense. But to achieve that Sanatan, to practice the Sanatan, we have to be Sanatan in our practices, which we are not. So we are becoming a mixture of different teachings. And with this mindset, it's difficult to achieve excellence. So, my young friends over there, take a mirror and look at the mirror at yourself and ask how good I am before I demand the best of things of life that should happen. Am I really that good to achieve excellence? Because if I'm not that good, it doesn't mean you cannot achieve excellence. If I'm not good, I will modify myself. I will change my priorities. I will do a paradigm shift in my life to become excellent, which we do not reach. Because we are afraid, people like me, old people, most of us are afraid of excellence. Because that will put a contrast on what we are. We don't want you to know that. So young people, to me, are always important because they are our future. For example, the fluency with which I could have given this, it is not to be done because this system was not tested for a PowerPoint presentation. Don't you feel that before an exam, all of you do homework at your home? We do not do it here because we are very highly respected professors. I'm not. Don't think I'm putting blame on them. But this is the trend that is happening, at least in West Bengal. So come out of that. Okay. First of all, I know you are a dedicated band of researchers, scientists, and faculty members. And for the coming 2 days, you have sacrificed yourself for the betterment of scientific methodology discussion. First sacrifice, today's lunch. There will be no lunch today because there was 1 hour for lunch, and I'm starting my lecture 1 hour later. So probably you have to have a handheld lunch or something like that. That is the first lesson. Right. Okay. The subject matter that I'm going to talk to you about is nothing to do with directly with the subject area, the focus area of this conference. And I was amazed when the organizers invited me. I told them that I'm a still a student of something called astronomy or astrophysics. They said, no, you give a lecture. Then I realized there is tremendous amount of mathematical inputs that goes on into the current understanding of cosmos and space in the subject of astronomy and astrophysics. It should have rotated in a video, but it is not. Forget about it. Aha, food is coming. This also doesn't happen in any international conference. They don't give you a cup of water inside a conference. If you're hungry, thirsty, please outside. I'm sorry. I know that nobody will again call me over here, but I don't give a damn. If you are going into a postdoctoral fellowship, going abroad, you will say this. I don't adjust yourself to that. Okay. Thousands of years back, when our ancestors used to look into the sky, they used to wonder what is sky, where is sky, what are those lighted objects is called stars? Is there any connection between the star and the earth? With these set of questions and queries, the subject of astronomy was born. So astronomy can be considered one of the oldest subjects that human minds have drawn upon. At the same time, given the huge number of news items that we regularly get to see in television channels and newspapers, we get an idea that it is also one of the most happening subjects. And scientists all over the world are realizing that soon the 21st century will be termed as the century for astronomy and astrophysics. Just to give you an example, 1901 till 2000, in 100 years, only 3.5 Nobel Prizes were given in astrophysics, astronomy, cosmology, and what is known as general relativity. Whereas from 2000 to 2024, 6 Nobel Prizes, 17 scientists were awarded the Nobel Prize in the same subject. That tells you what a gigantic amount of effort is going on throughout the scientific community in understanding the cosmos. Thousands of years ago, somebody did a very nice poem. Thousands of years ago, when our ancestors used to look into the sky, they used to try to find the meaning behind those stars, but they couldn't find an answer. In their desperation, what they did, they chose different parts of the sky, identified closely spaced stars, joined those stars to straight lines, and created imaginary figures. In this way, the whole sky was divided into 88 regions, each region being covered by an imaginary figure, which we today call constellations of stars. You will be asking me that these are imaginary. Why should we know the names of the region? But just to give you an idea, for the last 22 years, I'm in Kolkata, in India. Almost every year, apart from the pandemic days, I have to go down to either Dindigul or Belgaum, where the Indian Army has their advanced commando training center. Every year, I have to teach the fresh batch of Army commandos for 6 nights how to read the night sky. Because if you can read the night sky properly, with a lot of sophisticated instrument, you can get a lot of information from the New sky. So, even today, they have not lost their relevance. But we know naked eye has some limitation. I cannot see beyond a certain distance or beyond a certain brightness in the sky. So what we need, 415 years back, this fellow used it for the first time. He never invented it. Galileo Galilei used a telescope, and the world has opened up. I hope my fingertips remain soft after all. So throughout the world, as if a revolution is occurring, every country, developing, underdeveloped, fully developed, they're desperately trying to build bigger and bigger telescopes. Just to give you an idea, this is the most inhospitable place on the planet Earth. In a place called La Paranao in the Atacama Desert of Chile. Within 250,000 square kilometers, not even a single blade of grass grows. There, 4 8-meter diameter telescopes have been created to look into the heavens. A small Hawaiian archipelago island called Mauna Kea. On top of Mauna Kea, 15 countries have built 12 telescopes. The smallest one cost is $500 million. And the largest telescope is not yet born. It is loading now. It's loaded. The largest telescope net is TMT, 30-meter telescope. A telescope with a 30-meter mirror at the diameter. The cost of building this telescope is so huge, not a single country is able to build it. My voice is okay. Not a single country is it working? Not a single country is building it. 5 countries are collaborating: USA, Canada, Japan, China, and India. Poor India. 2018, the then Prime Minister declared in the Lok Sabha, the Indian contribution for building this telescope will be 1,700 crore rupees for one instrument. Those who think now, because we are very proud Bengalis, intellectual Bengalis, we think that whatever others are doing is all nonsense. This Ganesha, this elephant task 3,000 years ago, surgery, Mahabharata Yuddha is ICBM, and we start laughing. We forget this part of it. India is developing at a tremendous pace in science, technology, infrastructure, computing, and other things, including finance. We don't try to acknowledge that, because that will make us Bengal. I'm also Bengal, don't worry. Whatever. How many of you know in 2018, the government of India declared 7 mega science projects. Total budget, planned and unplanned, 22,700 crore rupees for 10 projects. 7 projects. Out of 7, 6 are in astronomy and astrophysics. Go in the internet, check. This subject has become tremendously important from Indian point of view. But sadly, colleges across West Bengal, the entry for physics or mathematics BSc is 2, 3, 4 at the most. Why? Because we will have to all line up and stand at shopper's stall to sell clothes and get a designation of business executive, marketing executive. That is our fate. Nobody talks about it. Nobody. Don't think, you're not talking research. These are issues which directly affects our academics, research, studies, and focus. When students come to you and say, "Sir, why should we learn physics? I'll not get a job." Don't you feel that's a sad story? The policy that has been created here locally doesn't provide any job for a physics, mathematics, statistics, chemistry student. You don't raise voice, right? Because comfort zone. 1 to 2 lakhs average assistant professors. A little more than that. That's the problem with us. We are not creating an atmosphere, but these young people who should have been sitting in the front, but somehow they are at the back, but doing research. Isn't it? Whatever. First and last visit of it. This was supposed to be going round and all sorts of things happening. Sun, moon, and earth. You will say, what nonsense. We are all so academically, excellent people. Let me ask you a question. Suppose a younger kid in your house today tells you, Baba or Mama, Baba or Ma, whatever, Kaka, Mama, whatever. Today in the school they taught us earth is going around the sun. What is the average velocity? How many of you? And you will say, this is a very difficult question. Irrelevant question. See? I'm proving it. We have sprayed very thin, we have not gone deeper. 29.5 kilometers per second. Imagine a car in 1 second moving 30 kilometers, say from here to Kolaghat or someplace in 1 second. It's not possible. But you're forgetting, you, me, 790 crore people and millions of life existing on the surface of the earth at the very, every second of our existence, we're moving at a velocity of 30 kilometers. But you think we are sitting tight and thinking standing still. And there are other things which has taught me in astronomy, and everybody is now realizing it. We feel so important now. Nowadays, with money and other things and development, everybody is important. Either muscle or intelligence or money. And places like West Bengal, if you don't have these things, don't worry. Political patronage is enough. You see it in every But do you know why we are sitting here, standing here, existing at this moment? Here? How life occurred? Why life occurred? Because of a series of accidents that happened. Accidents. Not by design. Not by somebody up there in this calendars, you see, doing this and rays of light coming and things happening. No. Nature. So, that life is a result of series of chance happening, is according to me what is called cosmic consciousness. The word cosmic consciousness brings a conundrum of plethora of ideas, right? Gods, goddesses, divinity, spirituality, later. Very practical and realistic. First, you will say, what are the accidents? You all know Earth is tilted by 23.5 degrees and going around the sun. It is because of the tilt. Season changes occur. You can say, okay, season changes occur, but the big deal. We know if there are no change of seasons, there would have been no ocean currents. If there are no ocean currents, there would have been no air currents. And if there were no air currents, clouds would not have gone somewhere and gathered somewhere else and gave us rain and fresh water. Life would not have been possible because just after Earth was born, it would have been a barren desert. Second, tides. This is a coastal area, more or less, tides. You'll say, if I ask you why does tide occur, all my very respected, excellent teachers, most of you will give an answer. It is moon which is attracting the water by gravitational force, tides occur. But my friend, those of you in class 11 who have studied Newton's laws of gravity, Gm1 into by r square, if you do a back of the envelope calculation after the lunch today, which will be no lunch today, whatever time, you can find out sun is attracting Earth 173 times more than the moon. Then why do you say this moon is attracting? The moon is nearby now. You want it to be r square distance is constant. We have finished up these thick books. Simple common sense. I'm not praising anybody, but it seems America started the era of common sense. Because tide is not a force, it is rather the resultant of quite a number of force over unit distance or what is known as force derivative. A1 into by r cubed. And that is the reason since moon is like 85,000 kilometers away and sun is 15 crore kilometers away, moon wins. But a lot of our teacher never told us sun also attracts the water on the earth. Do you know how much? 47% than the moon does. Now you will say, why are you talking about tides? Because my friend, in class 5 and 6, you have all studied life first occurred on the oceans. How did it come onto the land? Suddenly it relates. No. Every day high tides used to wash ashore multicellular organisms. Water used to get down there, used to get stranded and killed. Over millions of years, they got the adaptation of staying alive. And from there, different, plants, animals, mammals, reptiles, monkeys, and they have arrived from the monkeys. It's hard to believe, but that is the truth. Right? So that we are here because tides are there. And that is just by accident. It was during a total solar eclipse, sun was discovered as a new avatar. They found out from the surface of the sun milky white radiation coming out, which cannot be seen on other times. The answer is a question. 1.6 million tons of charged particles are coming out. These charged particles, when they move through the magnetic field of the sun, they produce this milky white radiation. The average velocity of these charged particles are 450 kilometers per second. With that speed, they have enough energy, same thing. If they hit any atom or molecule, instantaneously they will break apart. Basically, that means if I stop my lecture, go and stand in the sun, the charged particle coming from the surface of the sun, the moment they hit my body, within fraction of a second, my whole body should disintegrate. Poof, evaporate. But I'm alive. How? I'll come to you. Moon. What is moon? 99% of the scientists believe 452 crore years back, or 4.52 billion years back, a huge ball of rock came and slammed into the earth with such a force, huge amount of the surface material got gouged up and was thrown up into space. It couldn't go away forever, but going to a very vast distance, for millions of years it condensed, coagulated, coalesced, and gave birth to the moon. The moon was earlier formed from the earth itself. This is called the collision ejection theory. Though there are 3 other theories, but 99% of the scientists believe in this. Let us start our journey in space and time after wasting half an hour almost. No. Why? Any journey means change of space and you need time. No, not me. 1905, a very famous fellow, Sir Albert Einstein, gave a lot of theories. I'm not discussing theories just before your missed lunch. What I'm saying is that the result of that theory, we got to know. Light is a velocity which is constant in a vacuum or any medium, and is 3 lakh kilometers per second. 3 lakh kilometers per second. So distance from sun to earth is 15 crore, 3 lakh kilometers per second. Our West Bengal Madhyamik Parshad has made it mandatory in class 7 geography book. And liquid people, how come astronomy becomes geography? I don't know. It should be physics or chemistry or whatever. If they have to write, authors, the distance between sun and earth is 8.3 light minutes. Or light takes 8.3 minutes to come from sun to earth. But what is the meaning behind this? If you go out now, look at the sun for a fraction of a second, you don't tell yourself the sun I'm seeing now. It is the image of the sun as it was 8.3 minutes back, and I'm seeing it now. The closest star, Proxima Centauri, 4.2 light years away. In the evening, with the sky is clear, look at the star, tell yourself, the star I am seeing now, it is the image of the star as it was 4.2 years back, and I'm seeing it just now. So next time, younger generation at your home tells you, please take me to the Calcutta Science City, spend 50 rupees on a time machine ride. Never. Any clear night, go to the open, tilt your head. The people you are seeing your own past. You don't understand, you do an instantaneous time travel the moment you look up at the sky. This is the sense of adventure, spirit, and excitement. Our first stop of the journey, obviously, the solar system. These are all true colors of the main avatars. Though this is a painting, right? Sun. It shouldn't be rotating. Sorry, no video. You all have learned sun is a ball of gas, right? Now let me ask you very clearly. You have to give me an answer. Suppose I take a football, pumping a lot of colored gas, cut open the football with the gas inside, it will like a ball. Have you ever asked yourself why sun being a ball of gas is fixed in the sky? See, once you have got our PhDs and BScs now, forget about studying. Get the commission, not more. According to the scientists, 460 crore years back, a huge cloud of dust and gas was floating in space. This cloud was made up of 91% hydrogen, 8% helium, 1% rest other elements. The average temperature of this gas cloud was minus 240 degrees centigrade. At minus 240 degrees centigrade, out of the 4 fundamental forces of nature, only one type of force comes into play, that is the force of self-gravity. The force of self-gravity will attract the periphery of this gas cloud toward the center. As the gas goes toward the central density rises, pressure builds up, temperature rises. Starting from minus 240 degrees centigrade, temperature rises to a fantastic level of 1.5 crore degrees centigrade. At that temperature, centers of atoms of a nucleus, 4 hydrogen nuclei, as if they come together, fuse together, and produce a helium nucleus. This thermonuclear fusion reaction, our scientists have been able to perform it in all labs, but till 5 years back, they could not use it because they could only use the exploding hydrogen bomb. They were not controlling. But inside the sun, in a very controlled manner, when 4 hydrogen gets into helium, huge amount of energy is produced. As the energy tries to come out, it produces a back pressure called radiation pressure. This radiation pressure, when it exactly balances and matches, cancels out each other. Every second of existence, sun being a form of gas. So next time you don't go for those people in these 10-foot posters that you see in the roadside. They are the people for which you are living. 15 kilometers away, in a ball of gas, the opposite forces are cancelling each other. That's all. They become a little different. Either sun will become bigger or sun will not constrict. As a result, within 8.3 minutes, everybody, every life, everything. And you think that Sri Omukacharya, the astrologers, 600 rupees at 20,000 rupees, very sad story. I know a lot of people are not liking it because their businesses are, that believing these people. By the way, this by mathematical connotation, this is called the condition of hydrostatic equilibrium. dP by dr, pressure radius. G is the universal gravitational constant. Rho is the central density. M enclosed is within R of M. What is the mass divided by R squared. Inside the sun, there are three regions. The very central part is called the core. The energy that is generated from a huge volume it freely flows, called the radiation zone, and sun is very funny looking. From the surface, up to a depth of 650 to 700 kilometers, columns of gas, pillars of gas stacked one after another. Heat comes from inside, hits the working layer of the gas pillar, gas, when it rises, comes to the surface, deposits the heat as sunlight, becoming cold like a fountain, continuously raises the heat. It's called the convective zone. Outwardly, sun is again divided into 3 regions. The sun that you get is in the early morning or late evening. Yamakshon, Shankashon, Kashyapya, and Mahavidyalaya is called the photosphere. Over the photosphere, in a very thin layer, exquisitely pink colored gas can be seen, and that is called the chromosphere. And for the thousands and thousands of kilometers, a milky white radiation called corona, not from virus. Corona in Latin means crown. It is the crown of the sun. Do you want to see how the sun looks actually? Video is not there, but okay. This is actual surface. Each is a pillar of gas coming from inside. Since heat is being brought in, right, the moment it comes to the surface, deposits the heat, it's going down, dark in color. The average size of each of these cells is 952,000 kilometers. Chromosphere taken during a total solar eclipse, spikes of gas coming out, pink in color. And according to me, one of the best pictures in my life, corona. Actual picture. Taken last year from USA, we were seeing the moon, which has covered the sun. Charged particles are coming along the magnetic field. And if you don't believe me, go to your Google or ChatGPT, right, and ask what these atoms, ions, if they fall in your body, what happens? Poof, instantaneously it will happen. Sun becomes active sometimes. Since I'm an associate of NASA, these are not available on the internet always because NASA doesn't give it for commercial purpose. For academic purpose, it can show it. Sometimes you get to see black splotches without the video. Kale dhabpas on the surface of the sun. Actual photograph. What are these? These are called sunspots. What are they? The surface temperature of the sun is 5,800 degrees. At 5,800 degrees centigrade, gas cannot remain as gas, it becomes plasma. Plasma television. Plasma is a property. Wherever there is a magnetic field, plasma is practically reflected. On the surface of the sun, there are randomly small pockets of plasma to form. A column of magnetic field to form. A column of plasma, when they try to bring out the heat, if it realizes there is a magnetic field, not come out straight, it will take the heat away from different directions. No heat comes out from this region, it will typically look dark in color. Do you know how much money was spent for this photograph? Go to the internet and check if you think I'm bluffing. 2012. $1.2 billion. 10,000 koti taka ekta chobi tulte. Why? Because it is only in the last 25 to 30 years scientists are realizing sun is not only giving us the energy to be alive, but it is interacting with us every second of our existence intimately, 24/7, even in the night. Day or night, very highly mobile, not charged particles are coming from sun. At this moment, falling on the top of the building, passing clean through the building, passing clean through my body, passing through the whole earth, going out on the other side. When it is night, falling on the other side of the earth, passing clean through the earth, passing clean through my body, going out in space. It has been proved beyond doubt. You know how many on average, how many particles crossing me, you at this second, per second? 2 followed by 14 zeros. They are called neutrino. And we think we are controlling all this. That is the biggest stupidity that we tell to ourselves. Sun is not a simple object. Tremendous amount of explosions are happening every second. Thousands of tons of gas are getting thrown out, reaching a height of 25 to 30,000 kilometers, making beautiful arch and loops, falling back onto the surface. Sometimes they get thrown out with such a force, they get detached from the surface and flow past the whole solar system like a solar wind. Sorry, this was actually a video taken on 2016. Gas coming out, gas and dust coming out and falling back. Do you know what is the size of this cavity? 3 Earth, think a Prithvi can go side by side. This is sun. And this charged particle, if they fall on you and me, this building, everything, instantaneously, poof. But you are alive. Why? By an accident. Not by somebody's inspiration. Not using the bungalow water, it's too much. Everybody, no. By accident. By accident, Earth behaves like a bar magnet. Around the Earth, like a piece of an orange, there is an invisible magnetic shield. The charged particle that comes down onto the magnetic shield cannot enter, go past Earth, and we think that it can be of our size. But in the north and south magnetic polarity in the gap, these charged particles, they do enter the Earth's atmosphere through this gap. Before hitting you and me, killing us, it interacts with the air molecules and make them glow. And what did you get to see? Auroras. Aurora borealis in the north, Aurora australis in the south. From the last third and fourth row, people, young researchers, you are smiling so much, your smile is so dazzling now. You can see it from over here. Why can't you get up, you and your companion, girl companion? See, I teach 300 commandos, I watch every face. You know what happens there? I'm digressing. After the 2-hour lecture, the sergeant major comes and says, "Sir, keep thato, sir. Sir, keep thato." If somebody was doing that, complete message, that film, beta, आप सामने आप क्या कर रहे थे? Oh, इधर चलो, 10 किलोमीटर walk. If I tell this to you now, Supreme Court, that you are failing in your duties. Your duty here, if your insight is to listen. But you are smiling with your friend. I don't know what friend. You do it outside, there is a lot of trees outside. Take a shady tree and do that. And what we get to see auroras, sorry, I'm not a teacher in that sense. Aurora borealis in the north and Aurora australis in the south. Just 7 months back, one of my very close friends, she's a very big scientist, Arctic Polar Research Center, sent a photograph from Finland. Sheets of ice is reflecting the sky, aurora. And that tells you how sun is interacting intimately with each one of us every second of our existence. Solar system, how did it happen? According to the scientists, 460 crore years back, when the sun was getting born at the central part of the disk of gas and dust, the outer periphery where the temperature was less, dust, gas, condensed, coagulated, coalesced, gave birth to very hot spherical objects. For millions of years, they dissipated away the heat, and at least the first four, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Moon, Jupiter, Mongol, became solid rock. Whereas Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune are made up of gas. We teach your kids, right, in the school, writing gas on a 1 to 1, you get a full marks, right? If they are made of gas, for example, Saturn. Imagine the shiny temple over there, that there is an image of a Murti option. Where from they get? And you think they are scientific minded, right? That is the problem with us. Development of science and technology should be very important. Fortunate not change. এটাও বিশ্বাস করবো, ওটাও বিশ্বাস করবো। যেটা বলবো এটা আছে নীল রঙের দেখতে, বৃহস্পতি গুরু বৃহস্পতি মাথায় এতে পড়ে, গ্যাস দিয়ে তৈরি, একটা গ্যাসের কলকে ছেড়ে দেওয়া দিয়ে তৈরি করতে হবে। ও বুঝছেন তো কোথায় ঘাটতিটা রয়েছে আমার ওদের মধ্যে। Right. So this is a collage of all the true color pictures of the planets. I'm not going into the details because not enough time. Some of the coordinators are already watching the watch, forgetting that you have given me 1 hour later. No lunch, believe me. As you can say, nothing is happening. But Mars is important because they have found these sort of geomorphological structures. And so many expeditions, you will see, sir, billions of dollars and rupees are being spent on a mission to Mars. Even India is doing it. 17% people do not have 2 square meals a day. BPL. Why it is needed? You know why? No scientist will tell you. Because they have found these sort of geomorphological features. That means millions of years back, liquid water has cut through the mountainous region and it is ravine. If the Martian soil or subsoil has some even water ice now, bacteria, virus, parasites can reside. How many of you know every year on an average few 100 kilograms of rock comes scattered from Mars and landed to Mars? They land on what? Most of the time we don't know 73% is water. If the Martian soil has some bacteria, virus, parasite sitting on a rock, if it lands on the rock, believe me, within 6 months to 3 years, all life form will go from it. Nobody will get it. That is the reason scientists should know that there is water on Mars, ice on Mars, life on Mars. Not for the fun. And they have already found proof, 2008, that just if you dig a little bit, sediments of ice gets evaporated. And Curiosity, 2012, showed us dried up riverbeds. Pebbles, which can only, or muripato, which can only occur if there is a flowing water. And on that atmosphere, 2012, 15th of August, the then Prime Minister declared, India is ready for a mission to Mars. Believe me, my friend, everybody started laughing in the world. China, our very big best friend now. 16th August, I have it in my laptop, Xinhua Press Agency. Indian scientists are going to prove themselves as clowns and jokers in front of the international community. This is history, you know. On 5th of November, sitting at our nose of a PSL X-25 rocket in the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Mars orbital mission, lovingly called Mangal Pal Center of Space. And 24th September 2014, India became the first country in its very first attempt successfully entered Mangal Pal on a stable orbit around Mangal. Believe me, my friend, throughout the country, even the common people, young boys, they don't know what is Mangal Pal. They were jumping up and down, bright. But in West Bengal, nothing. Because we are Bengalis. ऐसा है करना. And after that, for 6 months, I have to answer the question. Whatever you say, sir, 484 crore rupees spent on a mission called Mangal Pal backward country like India. Was it necessary? So then I said, you know, standing today, 2024, the total amount of fireworks, Atishbaji, in Kali Puja and Diwali in India was 6,000 crore. That's not it stands. 484. The total amount of money spent on only the puja rituals, not decoration, in Durga Puja last year was 2,300 crore rupees. That's not a stage. I'm not saying religion is the stage. What I'm saying is why should you do Durga Puja outside? Arekare Durga, ask your Durga to stay in the home and for 4 days, either your daughter or your wife. See, this is how things happen. Whatever. It was a tremendous success. Lot of new results have come out from that. And it is not shifting, yet shifting, forget it. I don't want to show you this. Plethora, a huge number of exploration from that time onwards. Chandrayaan 3 was very important. This time the Bengalis are happy. We should clap. And on 14 July 2023, it went up into space by an GSLV rocket. And this is what a picture. 30th of August, this picture was taken. But 23rd of August, India again became the first country successfully soft landed Vikram spacecraft near the South Pole, 700 kilometers from the South. No country did do that. This is India. The India from which we get our salaries. And try to say what nonsense these people are. Astrosat. Generally, spacecraft have one telescope. They observe in one wavelength band. India has first created a spacecraft with telescope in the X-ray, optical, ultraviolet. 3. It's tremendously challenging and difficult. But they have taken. Whatever. And Gagganjaan, Aditya, because it was this thing is not coming from sorry. Gagganjaan. You know about Mitra, right? It's the first humanoid to be sent onto space. It can talk to the cosmonauts. Do you know why? If the cosmonauts are taking an action, thinking of taking an action, and if they're taking a wrong action, they will be wearing a skull cap with an EEG machine. And and transmit it to the girl who can decipher it by AI and instantly will say, not that button, press this button. India. And our young generation is thriving, not you people, thriving on what is the next film by Dev or whoever. What a smart thing, right? Forget about all this bizarre and all that. Why it is coming, I don't know. I cancelled all this. And SpaceX docking and undocking of 2 spacecraft on space recently done to create the India space station by 2035. This is coming. This is what taken out. Saturn, 90,000 kilometer wide, 1 to 100 kilometers in thickness, made up of ice crystals and pebbles. Just to give you an idea, one of my students, he did his PhD on that. He's at IIT Kalpa, North. Right? This is a non-dynamical system, a chaos. We can show the equilibrium in a fractional dimension of 2.2. Nonlinear mechanics is taught in mathematics and physics as well. So 2.2 dimension, this is a 1901. Italian astronomer Giuseppe Piazzi discovered a piece of rock, typically 900 kilometers in diameter, going round the sun between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter. He named it Ceres. People thought a new planet. Within a couple of years, 3 more, Pallas, Vesta, and Juno, each around 500 kilometers in diameter, were discovered in the same region, Mongol and Brihaspati Kakshapathe Madhya, going around the sun. People realized a new class of object is getting discovered. And starting from 1801 till today, 1,000 pieces of rock, 1, 10, 20, 100 kilometers in size, has been discovered between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter, going around the sun. They are called asteroids, Rohanu. Here, this is an actual representation of NASA. Each green dot is a discovered and named asteroid. Right? Think of the poor astrologers, right? 9 planets and sun, 10 fingers, 10 annuities. What will they do now? If you have to satisfy all of them, starting from the tip of your hair to the tip of your toe, you have to wear like a Christmas tree of annuities and these things like that. Why spend so much of money on them? Shortcut to success. Whatever. These red dots are called Apple asteroids. their orbit cuts the orbit of Earth. That when Earth is going around the sun, they can come and hit the Earth at any point of time. The explosion will be such now, 1/5, 1/6 of the Earth will be happening. See, when it did happen, before my retirement or after, my friend, any point of time. Even now, today, just this moment, it can happen. It can happen 10 years later, it can happen 10 lakh years later. That you are alive is an accident. Don't be sure of yourself. Out of the solar system, twinkle, twinkle, little stars. Actual journey starts, but I don't have much time, I'll go faster. This is horrible. First of all, you will say, what nonsense, now you are cheating us. When you look into the sky, the two lighted dots very far away, totally dark in between. Where from you are getting this photograph? Do you know why we don't get to see this picture? The problem is with the human eye. Human eye has something called perception of vision. Within 1/10 of a second, whatever amount of light enters through our pupil and falls in the retina, the optical nerve immediately takes into the back of our head to create an image. If our eyes were like a CCTV camera now, like this, looking at the sky for 5, 10, 20, 25 hours, you have seen every dot in the sky there is a star. And huge gas clouds of all hues and color. We don't need to see this. This is the problem with the eye. Now I want to tell you one thing. Why astrophysics is becoming the cream de la creme of the young generation's academic achievement aspirations. Also. We did a survey. I'm a member of something called IFAC, which is the only think tank of government of India. Technology Information Forecasting Assistant. It's under PhD, but 6 in the PhD. I'm in the Education Technology Advisor. I should not have said this, so we forget it. There it has been found among all the science subjects, all the engineering subjects, including biology, what 9% of the first of every university in India is opting out for astrophysics, astronomy research. That tells you something. Any branch of science you can continue to astronomy. It should, but you need a little bit. I don't have that. Why? If I ask you for your ID card, looking at your picture, not whatever is written, I will tell you, oh, what is your temperature? What is your mass? How long ago you are born? How long you will live? So what is inside? Looking at a photograph, can you tell this? Don't forget, looking at a photograph of a star, you have to answer this question. Only the signal of light. You have to be tremendously clever, not 24 hours looking at your mobile phone screen. And think that as if it is a single light, how can I? And that astrophysics students are doing, right? So it's an amazing thing. Temperature, chemical composition, radial velocity, physical, chemical process, blah, blah, blah. And for stars, you have to know only 4. And now comes mathematics. I don't want to keep mathematics. Very simple linear differential equations. If I give you pen and paper, none of you can solve it because of the boundary conditions are so steep. Blows up. So you have to put it through a computer, crunch, 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 and you can get a model of a star. And the spectra. Do you know who was the first person? Who was the first person who told if you examine a star spectra, you can get almost all information. Young generation, can you give me the name? Older generation, can you give me the name? বাঙালি বলে কম গর্ব কত কিছু জানি He is still called father of stellar astrophysics. In Cambridge, where I was for a year, the teacher used to teach stellar spectra. Let us talk about the father of stellar astrophysics. Somebody called him Ramshaw. We are proud of him. This is the chain reaction called proton-proton chain reaction that goes on inside sun. But there is another reaction for completeness purpose, even if half of you is listening to this seriously, that's why. Called carbon nitrogen oxide cycle. Stars come with different masses, ranging from 0.08 to 150 times the mass of Sun. This mass of Sun is 2 followed by 33 zeros. They come at different surface temperature. Central temperature is 1.5 kilo, 50,000 to 1800. It was a legendary woman, 110 years back, doing her research at the Harvard Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory. Just to give you an idea about the research, in 6.5 years, with naked eye, she examined images of 240,000 stars at the sky and created an index. 110 years of bomb. Science cannot touch. So, this is called a researcher. In 6.5 years, she took holiday from her lab for 7 days. We, first January, see Sundays gone, right? Holidays are 4 months. They have to go to a resort and show the things in the Facebook. Otherwise, how am I successful? Amazing. Sun with a surface temperature of 5,700, 800, 600 is called a G type of star. And later on it was found. This is a one-page Bible for any researchers. You can talk to me after my lecture. I'm not going to it. It is called HR diagram. It is a one-page Bible of stars. Every person, researcher in the world, if they want to do research in astrophysics, stellar astrophysics, they have to study this. Where all these band of stars, all these band of stars are burning hydrogen to helium. These stars are not. Our sun's position is here, depending on its surface temperature and brightness. But as days will grow, it will become old. Amazingly, in this graph, sun will go like this, and ultimately come. So almost a living graph. It's called the HR diagram. I'm not going into the details. If anybody has questions, discuss. Life and death of stars. Oops. Stars are born from interstellar clouds of gas and dust. Let me show you some pictures, right? Only last 1 year these pictures are taken. James Webb Space Telescope. 1,000 solar systems will born out of this. Don't mix this cloud with the cloud. You've seen this. This is amazing. From these gas clouds, stars are born, planets are formed outside. But as a researcher, if he or she is here today, after 5-7 years doing a little bit of astrophysics research, will come back and tell you, sir or ma'am, this greenish blue is oxygen 5, oxygen 6. This blue is neutral hydrogen. This yellow is sulfur. This black is iron. This green is either zinc or molybdenum. And this white is titanium. 2.5 million pixels. 25 লক্ষ pixel. Each pixel gives you some information. One picture can produce 12 to 14 PhDs. One program. If you are born, you have to die. How do stars die? They die differently depending upon their masses. Sun or small mass stars. Burning hydrogen to helium at the center. How long? If you do a small calculation, you can show Sun will be burning hydrogen to helium for another 500 crore years. After 500 crore years, when all the hydrogen gets into helium, thermonuclear nuclear reaction stops, energy generation stops, outward pressure stops. Sun will shrink. As it is shrinking in the outer layer, but there is still a lot of hydrogen remaining because of contraction, the temperature rises to 1.5 crore, which was earlier at the center. And at that temperature, the remaining hydrogen fused together to produce a helium. But the reaction that was happening at the center will happen near the surface. As it hits off the gas when heated will expand. Sun will expand. So 500 বছর পর, 500 crore years later, if we look to the sun, you will see sun becoming smaller, suddenly stop, and then it will start becoming bigger and bigger. How big it will be? In a small calculation, it will show after 500 crore years later, sun will become bigger and bigger and ultimately touch the orbit of Earth. Mercury, Venus, Earth, much before that will all go inside the sun. কি হবে ভবিষ্যতে আর 500 কোটি বছর পর আমার ছেলেরা সূর্যের মধ্যে ঢুকে খুব ভাবতে হবে কারণ অনেক কোটি বছর আগে সব শেষ। So when the sun, when the outside is becoming bigger, It will become bigger and bigger and bigger, and ultimately slowly get detached from the surface. Create a cloud-like structure called planetary nebula. Nebula means cloud. Nebula is a cloud. But the inside, because helium is not producing any energy, shrinks under gravity, temperature reaches from 1.5 to 10 crore. At 10 crore degrees centigrade, 3 helium nuclei fuses gives you carbon nucleus. Again, energy produced, outward pressure stops. But soon, when all helium goes into carbon, since the initial mass is 1 to 8 times the mass of sun, is not enough to produce more pressure, temperature, 10,000 crore degrees centigrade doesn't reach. So, hot ball of carbon in the sky like a dot become bright will be called a white dwarf shaped diamond. By the way, by that time, outside is becoming so big, slowly gets detached from the surface. You think I'm making science fiction, right? Sorry, for the last 40 years, this was the very small, minuscule amount of research that we do. These are the topics of my research. So, actual picture. By the way, this white dwarf, totally giving away the heat, ultimately becomes cold and becomes a black dwarf and you cannot see. But 1935, a very intelligent person said, if the black dwarf mass is more than 1.44 the mass of sun, black dwarf, not star, it cannot remain as a black dwarf, it will explode to something called supernova. And this fellow got the Nobel Prize for that, and this is the fellow. You know his name, right? Nowhere his name is there. Subramanian Chandrasekhar. How many of you know this name? He was one of the uncles of Singiram, uncle's son of Singiram, Puttutovai. And this is Kabla Chandrasekhar Limited. See, this is the actual picture. As the star is becoming bigger, it pulses. Each pulse brings out a shock wave. So it was in 1994-95, and this is the actual photo. Our sun will become like this. Actual photograph. Our sun will die and will look like this. So it was me and my group. They are now all scattered. One is in called Isabel Cheshner from University of Geneva. Another is Karan Ulasi from the Jet Propulsion Lab, NASA lab. We used to collaborate. So we showed very complicated physics. Shots can produce molecules. Poor me, in 1995, I have to read the code. That time, I'm not a computer software engineer, but 24,000 lines for code. Took me 1 year to write and debug. Since I was in Manchester, I had the usage of a mainframe supercomputer, I could run that. And amazingly, we came to a conclusion which nobody believes. The death of a star gives out the synthesis of chemicals. It is called shock-induced physicochemical process. I'm not going into all the details, but this is an exploratory process. Actually, a new branch almost proliferated. Astrochemistry, astrophysics, astrochemistry. I'll show you. These are the molecules we have produced in the computer and actually observed in 1997 by Holland Infrared Space Observatory. Then instantaneously we became quite famous, by the way, because all of them are organic molecules. Because that shows if somebody says life is only here, not anywhere, we are the most okay. Any star at its death phase produces the biotic material for life. Life is a universal process, not particular. Right? And then the end, stars whose initial mass is 8 to 25 times, because the mass is more initially hydrogen to oxygen, hydrogen to helium, helium to carbon, carbon to oxygen, silicon, sulfur, neon, ultimately reaches iron. You cannot fuse iron. So inside, like a piece of an orange, not piece of an orange, piece of an onion. Hydrogen, helium, carbon, oxygen, ultimately iron. Thermonuclear reaction stops. Outward pressure stops, but gravity. All these layers with a tremendous pressure and speed tries to fall towards the carbon. Poor carbon fillers know how to go. It becomes rigid, keeps a kick outside. All these layers start coming out, explodes. The temperature reaches 300 degrees centigrade. At that temperature, starting from iron 56, to 92 in the periodic table, mass number, all the elements get produced in a fraction of a second. Since they are produced in a fraction of a second, they cannot be produced in huge quantities on Earth. They have a special name called rare earth elements. This explosion goes by the name of supernova explosion. Sorry, no video. It was a spectacular explosion. Right? And all these materials get thrown out in space. Now, let me ask you a question. Our blood is red. Why? Iron. Close your mind, son. Imagine a single atom of iron in your bloodstream going to heart, leg, 70 times past the heart. Ask you to where from this iron atom represented in the body? Through my food. If I'm a vegetarian, have it in the plant. If I'm a non-vegetarian, within the goat, because it in the plant. How in the plant it has come? Go from the soil. How in the soil it has come? Go deep down there in mines, it has come up. How in the mines it has formed? Because the average temperature of space is minus 250 degrees centigrade. And according to the most subscribed theory of the formation of the universe, only two elements were produced after the universe was born. Hydrogen. Believe me, my friend, each atom of iron in your blood, each atom of calcium in your bones, sodium, potassium, whatever your body is made up of now, literally were created millions of years back only inside the star. No other physical process can produce synthesized elements of hydrogen. So you, me, the cat, the monkey, the dog, the plant, the animals, whatever, they are all starchy. Our body is made up of starch. This is called cosmic consciousness. So that's why the younger generation who nowadays loves challenge, life is fast for them. They're going into it. Every point there is a question. Forget about standard PhD guides. I have done some formula in theory, right? In University of Delaware. 30 years later, change the free parameters and next PhD, one PhD, next PhD, one PhD. Doesn't happen. Every point is a big question. That's why it's so challenging. Much more time. Forget about it. A neutron star, which is a leftover of a supernova, if its mass is between 1.5, it also becomes what is known as black hole. I'm not going to the mathematical part of it. So you see, starting from gas, ending into gas. Stars born, stars die. But in between, a total khichdi is happening. Chemistry is getting changed. And that has given rise to a question about what is life? How life originated on Earth. In last 80 years, scientists have desperately tried to produce, not reproduce, produce life on Earth. Reproduce is how I put it. Produce life on Earth. They have failed. Life cannot be produced on Earth with the material that was present at that time. So now, the most subscribed theory is that the seeds of life, the prebiotic material of life, came from space. It cannot be produced on Earth under that condition. So this is called panspermia. Pan means any direction, spar means seed of life. Panspermia. The seed of life came from it. And this has given rise to another branch called astrobiology. Astrophysics, astrochemistry, astrobiology. I think I will just round it up very fast without going into what is a black hole and all that. I thought I would have time, forget about it. But one thing, they are also a part of our enigma, cosmic enigma, given by this fellow, understood by this fellow, explained by this fellow, called black holes. But don't think they are science fiction. Don't think they are science fiction. They are actually present and has been discovered in last 10 years. Image of a black hole at the center of a galaxy, which is called Akashganga, Milky Way, which has this elliptical center and spiral arms. How many stars do you know? 20,000 crore stars. 20,000 koti tara আমাদের galaxy. And this picture takes you the biggest level. This is a picture of the universe. Here each colored dot is a galaxy. প্রতিটি ডট হচ্ছে 20 থেকে 10,000 কোটি তারার সমান। And you want to say we are the best, no life elsewhere? Most funniest stupid thing. Okay? And ultimately, the most subscribed theory that has come forward is known as Big Bang, that 1,377 crore years back, our universe started from a unity point. Right? This was the concept of Big Bang. I'm not going into the details. I want to show you the tremendous amount of technology involved, including mathematical technology. Because for all the explanations of these colorful photographs, you need the whole spectrum. Computational challenges, AI, ML, DL, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. And recently Government of India is creating a small group, discussion group going to college teachers talking about AI. Believe me, 75% when I asked what is AI, it's ChatGPT. Don't have any concept of AI. No concept of AI. If I say, what is mathematics? It's a class. Class 2 class is mathematics. This is like that. How do you write AI in modules? Like first. How many of you know that? How many of you made an effort to learn Python? Both are there. Degree will be now because comfort zone. Looking at some of your face, not all, some of them I can see that. মাসিকো ভাই কিছু ছেলে ওইটা হবে ওখানে চিন্তা করব যে কি আছে কি কিনতে যাবো লেকচারের পরেই যাব বিচার করার জন্য। Large data and data analytics, simulations, innovative softwares, photonics, quantum optics, nano electronics, communication technology. And this is must. For 0 to infinity for every student in astronomy. Spherical trig, special functions, special integrals, tensor, spinors, twisters. Let me ask you, even the mathematics department faculties, how many of you know about what is a spinor and what is a twister? Sorry, I'm not humiliating you. I also didn't know. How many of you know? Soon times will come when all these tensors will not be used at all. It will be only by spinors or twisters. Do you know another person? Baba, last year corner যিনি বসে আছেন আপনি ফ্যাকাল্টি না স্টুডেন্টস ইউনিয়নের মেম্বার, আপনি মানে কাকে কি বলছেন ভীষণ ভালো লাগছে আপনাকে দেখে। অ্যাস্ট্রোনমি দেখে কেউ যেরকম বাচ্চাদের মতো খিলখিল হাসতে পারে না, আপনাকে দেখে বোঝা যাচ্ছে। বলবেন কি বলছেন স্যার, আমার স্কোপার্স ইন্ডেক্স আমার কত জানেন, ইন্ডেক্স নাম্বার যাই হোক। How many of you know spinors and twisters? How many of you know an Indian person have created his own variable system and may win Nobel Prize every day? Danina Abhay Ashtekar. He's the chairman of the Syracuse University. There are something called Ashtekar variables. You can use them like spinors and twisters. বই পেয়ে গেছে ইন্টারন্যাশনালি, ওনার লেখা না, সারা পৃথিবীর গণিতজ্ঞরা লিখেছেন আষ্টেকার ভেরিয়েবলসের উপর। আমরা এখানে বলছি দূর এ কি করলো, কে কি খেয়ে ইলেকশনের রেজাল্টে বেরোলো, এসব না। আর বলবো আমাদের মতো উৎকৃষ্ট প্রাণী আর আছে পৃথিবীতে? Topology, obviously, the Riemannian geometry and others, differential geometry. Believe me, আমাদের পিএইচডি করার সময় আমাদের তো কোর্স ওয়ার্ক করতে হয়েছিল নিয়ম আইউকাতে, 6 মাসে সবগুলোকে শেষ করে পরীক্ষা দিতে হয়েছিল। পরীক্ষার নিয়ম ছিল 70-এ পাস, ফেল করলে বাড়ি, রিপিট। আমি তো যাদবপুরের প্রোডাক্ট, পরিষে কারা এইসব error analysis and innovative mathematical models. So basically, I'm almost at the end of the thing. Oops. Different type of instrumentation you can read for yourself. I don't want to get into it. Time is running out. But ultimately, my heart sings at the wonder of my place in this world of light and life, at the feel in the pulse of the rhythm of creation, cadenced by the swing of endless time. লেখা আছে এটা। বলুন তো এর ট্রান্সলেশনটা বাংলা। 25শে বৈশাখে রজনীগন্ধার মালা হারমোনিয়াম বেরিয়ে যায়, সেন্ট সাজানো হয়, আকাশ ভরা সূর্যতারা দৃশ্য হয়। ট্রান্সলেশনটা ভালো হয়নি না, কিরকম ফর্মাল আমার দোষ না। ট্রান্সলেশনটা হয়তো রবীন্দ্র খান বাড়িতে দাঁড়িয়ে বাবার ছবি থাকে, ভেতরটা ফাঁপা হয়ে গেছে। এখন আমাদের অস্তিত্ব ফেসবুক, টুইটার এগুলো চালু করছে, আমাদের নিজেদের কাজের মাধ্যমে বুঝতে হবে। আমি কিরকম থোড়াটা কিরকম মুখটা কিরকম দেখতে সেগুলো কোথায় যাচ্ছি, এরপরে আমরা বলি এই ছেলেগুলো কিচ্ছু করতে পারলো না। দেখি বলি তোমাদের মধ্যে কেউ সত্যেন বোস হয়েছে, প্রফুল্ল চন্দ্র রায় হয়েছে, নিজের থেকে আমার মধ্যে হয়েছে, আমার মধ্যে তো 7, 10, 8, 9 কে ফাংশন আছে। আর কোন পার্টি পাওয়ারে আছে তার সেই পার্টির মিছিল যায় না গেলে মুশকিল হবে। এটা অলমোস্ট মূর্খ কিছু মানুষের স্থাবকতা করে শিক্ষক জগৎ ভাবছে বলবো চলে গেছে 3-4 কোটি, আমি তো যোগ দিচ্ছি নিজের দিকে তাকালে আমার আমি কিছু যে মানুষটি আমাকে প্রচন্ডভাবে উদ্বুদ্ধ করেছিলেন, আমি রিসার্চ ওয়ার্ক থেকে বেরিয়ে এসে পাবলিক আউটরিচ লোকের মধ্যে কথা বলি। He was my greatest friend for almost 12 years till his death in 2015. Believe me, he has taught me so many things, not astronomy, how to reach out, why to reach out, especially in India. Not as guru, I would say, but he was there. Thank you very much. ওটা খুলে না, ওটা খুলে এখানে কিছু করা যাবে ডাইরেক্ট খুললি হয়ে যাবে। ঘটকটা মারতে রেখে এটাকে অফ করা যাবে না, নিচে সুইচ অফ করলে না, এটা থেকে বেরোনো যাবে না একবার চললে। ফাইল সিস্টেমে আসতে পারবো না, এরর ভিত্তি করে ফেলেছে। এরকম স্মার্ট বোর্ডের কোনো মানে নেই, ইউ হ্যাভ টু চেঞ্জ, দিস ইজ নট আ স্মার্ট বোর্ড অ্যাকচুয়ালি।
এর কোথায় গেল, শোভন কোথায় গেল?
To stop a machine is to take out the plug. That's I understand, but that is not the way to do things. We are talking about science, development of science, technology, and you see that technology. Oh, how do
ইন্টারনেট নেই তো।
international conference হচ্ছে ভদ্রলোক কি ভাববে
না, কোথাও নেই।
সুন্দর নাম বাইরে এখন কি বললে দেখে যাবে, আপনি কি বলছেন? আমি কি পুরো ভাষা বলেছিলাম গত বছর, অপমানিত হয়ে গেছে। আমরা না টাকি, সরি সরি টাকি অর্থ হচ্ছে বড় বড় এগুলোকে বলে ছেড়ে দিন, হবে very poor at this thing. Okay. আপনার দেখা উচিত ছিল সেটা করেনি বলতে আপনি ওনাকে বলছেন আমি কি করবো আপনি দেখেন না সেটা আমাদের সেটাই আসলটা দ্যাট ইজ হয়েছে ওটা হ্যাক করে গেছে ওটা হ্যাক করে গেছে তারপরে এটা হচ্ছে ভিডিও আগে হয়েছে ওটা চলছে না এটা ভিডিওকে সাপোর্ট করে তার জন্য আমরা আগে বলছি
for this enlightened lecture, and I believe that our participants, faculty members, students, and research scholars certainly is benefited by your lecture. Now, Soben. So, and also, I would like to request if you have any questions regarding the third session, you can ask any question among you. You can ask any question if you have.
যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আমি উত্তর দিতে পারবো এমন কোনো শিওরিটি নেই কিন্তু প্রশ্ন প্লিজ is there any concept about the multiverse or parallelism? Yeah. The point is that when it was said that our universe started from 1377 4 years back from a singular point. The question arose, where was the point? They said, don't ask that question. The point is the beginning of space. When did it happen? No, there is nothing called time prior to that. Time and space started from the Big Bang. This was very unconventional. Nobody's like it. Another thing, when you say electron, what is an electron? Electron is a point part. There is nothing called a point part. Point can't exist. Have you come across what is the radius of an electron? So these things created a turmoil in 1990s. So they came out with something called string theory, which is everything is made up of small strings, very small. Because of the types of vibration, modes of vibration, different particles are manifested. And in this is not possible in 3 + 1 dimension. You need X, Y, Z and time. They created first 27, later on 10 dimensions. I will say this is nonsense. 3 dimensions we are all aware. What is 10 dimension? Suppose I take this book. No, not taking it personal. I take this book. This is 2 dimension, it's like. Now if I start rolling this, rolling continuously until it becomes a line. A line has how many dimensions? So 2 becomes 1, right? That is known as compactification. So in this way, the 6 dimensions are compactified in 3 + 1 dimension. And there it came about hyperspace, higher dimension. And then it came that quantum fluctuation of the universe energy produces many universes almost everywhere. But they are not causally connected. So like my universe, there can be another universe which I never know, will never be able to know. But the physics laws will be different, chemistry will be different, the units or the constants will be different, but it will be multiverse. With thousands of millions of universes. And visually they show in YouTube bubbles. First of all, the universe is not as real. Sphere is a closed space. It's an open architecture at present. It's a flat universe. Okay. Any other question? Oh, which one?
স্যার বলছি জুপিটারে আমাদের সেম স্ট্রাকচার আছে গ্যাস আছে হিলিয়াম আছে হাইড্রোজেন আছে তো স্টিল এরা সাইজ বা গ্র্যাভিটির জন্য কি স্টার ফর্ম করতে পারে না? লজিকটা কি আছে?
জুপিটার যদি যা ওজন তার থেকে 13 গুণ হতো, তাহলে ভেতর টেম্পারেচার এমন হতো ফিউশন ছিল। তো ইজ আ ফ্রেন্ড স্টার। আর জুপিটারে একটা ভালো হাইড্রোজেন হিলিয়াম আছে। পৃথিবীতে যে হাইড্রোজেন হিলিয়াম আছে অ্যাটমসফিয়ার, কারণ একই জিনিস থেকে তৈরি হলো, জুপিটারে আসে কেন? আর কারণ hydrogen and helium are the lightest element. The solar radiation has pressed them, thrown them outward, so that Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars don't have much. Jupiter, Saturn is mostly better than. You see guys?
Sometimes we thought for certain that Earth will be destroyed at 20.
Earth can be destroyed any moment of time by anything, but nobody is sure, nobody knows. Those news is for YouTube subscription. Units. Till now, nobody knows how Earth is going to be destroyed. But they will say, all these 7 planets coming in a straight line, and you see Kumbh Mela is happening, so Earth will get destroyed. Get lost. These are all numbers are used. What has been good? I'm sorry I'm late, but I get quite right.
Thank you, sir. Any question? Any more question?
সবাই তো আমরা কিউরিয়াস যে আমার অস্তিত্ব মানে কিভাবে একদম মানে ঠিক পয়েন্ট যদি এক লাইনে বলা যায় যে আমাদের অস্তিত্ব আমরা এত কিছু করছি, ধ্বংস হয়ে যাবে, সবকিছু ফিনিশ হয়ে যাবে, এই ক্রিয়েট করবো, সেটা তো মানে বলা সম্ভবই না। শুধু আপনার মতামত এই বিষয়ে।
যে প্রশ্নটা আপনি করলেন এটা পুরোপুরি একটা ফিলোসফিক্যাল কোশ্চেন। এখন আপনি বলবেন বিজ্ঞান ফিলোসফি, হ্যাঁ, বিজ্ঞান যেখানে শেষ হয় ফিলোসফি সেখানে। আমরা ভুলে যাই ছোটবেলায় আমরা যখন ক্লাস 3 করে বিজ্ঞান পড়তাম, অ্যারিস্টটল, সক্রেটিস, প্লেটো কি বলেছে, কেউ কিন্তু বিজ্ঞানী ছিলেন না, ফিলোসফি ছিলেন। আমাদের মুশকিল যে দুপথা ফিলোসফি দুপথা বিজ্ঞান করে এরা জুড়ে দিয়ে বলে এটা পৃথিবীতে দেখতে হবে, এটা আপনি বাংলায় ব্যবহার করে যাচ্ছি, এটা সত্যি ওটা সত্যি কিছু কিছু কিন্তু বিজ্ঞান কিন্তু সর্বোচ্চ নেই বলেই কিন্তু আপনি বিজ্ঞান পড়াচ্ছেন ভবিষ্যতে। কিন্তু তারপরে একটা আপনি যে প্রশ্ন করলেন জীবন মানে কি, আমি বলবো না জীবন মানে যারা যোগ বুঝে একটু দেবো আমি আমার কাছে কোনো ফ্যাক্ট নেই, কোনো ম্যাথমেটিক্যাল মডেল নেই, কোনো ম্যাথমেটিক্যাল টুল নেই যাতে আমি বলতে পারি জীবন এটা এরপরে এটা করতে। কোয়ান্টাম মেকানিক্স যেমন বলতে পারি, আমরা কি জানি যে 4 জন আছি মনে করি এখানে, একটা ঘটনা ঘটে, কিছু একটা ঘটে, এবার 4 জনকে আলাদা আলাদা জিজ্ঞেস করবো আপনি কি দেখলেন, আপনি কি দেখেছেন, আপনি কি দেখেছেন, আপনি 4 জন কিন্তু 4 রকমের একটু ডিফারেন্ট। আর কারণ হচ্ছে আমাদের ব্রেন ইম্পালস গুলো সাইনাপস এর মধ্যে দিয়ে যায়, নিউরনের যে টেন্ডেন্স গুলো সেগুলো কিন্তু কাজ করে না। কোনটা দিয়ে ইলেকট্রিক ইম্পালস মুভ করবে will depend what will be a reaction in the picture. So that's different. Similarly, একই পরিস্থিতিতে একজন মানুষ একরকম হবে, একজন মানুষ অন্যরকম হবে, একজন অন্য চিন্তা করবে, একজন আরেকটা অন্য চিন্তা। কেন? Because of this. The moment you say something, collapse of the wave function. That's the result. After that, everything is collapsed. Yeah, please.
In the internal communication system or satellite communication system, so what is the role of sun or other satellite?
Very good. Sun, I told you that it produces huge amounts of charged particles. These charged particles, if they come in a huge number, typically with a higher velocity of 900 to 1000 kilometers per second, it can totally disturb the atmosphere. So, this communication, which goes through our magnetosphere and ionosphere, it has happened. Just to give you 2 examples, I know Total communication blackout happened in 2015 in China. Very Xinjiang province, one of the best region, because of huge amounts of charged particle passing through the atmosphere in that position. So nobody could connect to their phone, everything disrupted. Even we face it when you are seeing a TV. Why the? It's nothing to do with cable wire. That moment, charged particle to the sun, heat content is possible. I have counted about
It makes sense in a particular small reason also.
if it is in a bigger case, yes, but generally it happened because when it happened, one flight in Canada was going from Ottawa to Canberra. And long flight, the pilot was, happy in the night, nobody around, he was feeling sleepy. So put it on autopilot. Autopilot can safely make it. Luckily, around 10 minutes prior to landing time, something in he woke up and realized the very far distance, the runway lights are like this, the plane is landing like this. Autopilot immediately made it manual and landed. Big inquiry. At that point of time, huge amount of charged particle passed to the earth, shifted the magnetic axis. Autopilot was following the magnetic axis.
Anyone? Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, recently, two honorable guests have joined this conference, Dr. Madhumangal Pal and Dr. Sankar Kumar Roy, Professor, Department of Mathematics, Vidyasagar University. Now, I would like to invite Piali Madam, Minati Madam, and students to felicitate Sir with bouquets, badges, and tilak.
আমরা বলছি প্রেজেন্টেশন সময় করলেই হতো তাহলে এখন কি লাঞ্চে যাওয়া যেতে পারে না বিকেলে লাঞ্চ করি
আমাদেরকে আজকে আমরা অসুবিধা জানিনি আমি নিয়ে যাবো লাগছি
ঠিক আছে
বসে আছে আমি খাই যাবো
Hey.
All the heat goes out and it becomes
এই চেয়ারগুলো সেট করে দাও না
all whiteness showing up. Generally, all of it
সেকেন্ড সেশন হবে
এই স্যারকে নিয়ে যাও স্যার দুজনকে নিয়ে যাও খাবার
এই ছবিটা তো আমার ফাইল দিবি ফাইল এই কখন এটা বিবেক স্যারের
Now for Uttariya and memento, I would like to invite Chandan Sir, Professor Chandan, Department of Mathematics. Chandan Sir, for memento, please provide the memento. And Sujit sir, please come over. Sujit sir will provide Uttari and memento to Dr. Madhumangal Pal sir, Professor, Department of Mathematics.
লাঞ্চটা করিয়ে নাও, লাঞ্চটা টাইম আছে। এই এটা হচ্ছে এই বিবেক বাবু, এই বিবেক
Sujit sir. Sujit sir, please come for memento. To Professor Madhumangal Pal sir, Professor Department of Mathematics, Vidyasagar University. Thank you sir, thank you so much. Since it was time for the second invited talk, but we have already 1 o'clock. Now I would like to invite Soven sir to give a token of gift to Dr. Sankar Kumar Roy and Chandan sir to present a token of gift to Dr. Madhumangal Pal sir. Thank you, sir. So now it's time to lunch. It has already been 1 o'clock. Then second session will start at 2 o'clock. And lunch will be provided in canteen. So I am requesting all the participants go over there and have a lunch. Thank you.